What's up, banana bunch? Bunch? Bunch?
Welcome to the Jungle Gyms podcast. What's up, Banana Bunch? You know what time it is. It's time for another episode of the Jungle Gyms podcast. I'm your host, Mark. What do we think of this? A little Banana Bunch shirt, maybe some merch in the future? Let's hope. Welcome to the show. Thank you all for joining. If you're listening in the audio-only version, I appreciate you being here. Of course, we're also coming to you live on YouTube because we're just such a visual place, and I think it's really important. And I would love if you checked us out on YouTube sometime too. Well, hey, we're cooking up a bunch of stuff for Thanksgiving this coming week, but this is our pre-Thanksgiving blowout, so we got some fun stuff. Right now you can see I'm hanging out in the natural food section, better known as the Herb in Jungle. And I said it weird because of the clever spelling of it that we use, like the word herb. And I thought I would try something out a little new here. And you know what? Maybe this product from Garden of Eten is not quite new to the jungle, but it is definitely new to me. So here's a segment I'm calling New to the Jungle. I took a little trip to the urban jungle the other day. If you don't know, that's our natural food section, and found out about some great new stuff. And then I found out we had a fun connection, which we'll dive into. But I want to introduce you to Rachel of Garden of Eten. Hi,
Hello.
Rachel.
Hi. Thanks for having me.
Oh my God, thanks for reaching out. I appreciate it. I'm very curious about this. Last year, we did a whole thing with an elderberry farmer. So I've been kind of hot on the elderberry game lately, and it sounds like you've got something fun here going on. So, first off, tell me about yourself. Tell me about Garden of Eten.
Yes, my name is Rachel Eten. I luckily married for that perfect name. You know,
Yeah.
I didn't think about it then, but you know, it worked
True
out for
love.
me. Yeah. I used to be a fashion model, and I would travel the world, and I loved hearing about like holistic health in different countries, and just collected a bunch of information. And when we moved back here to Northern Kentucky, Cincinnati area, I just really wanted to share my passion for health. And so I wasn't really sure what I was going to do. I started making elderberry syrup out of my kitchen, and people started saying, "Oh, I'll take some. Oh, well, my friend at work wants some," and you know. And then it started getting to be like an operation, and it was like, okay, I either need to cut it down, you know, cut it off, or like make it legit. So I just decided to go for it, and we became a business. We rent a commercial kitchen, the Incubator Kitchen in Newport.
Oh, cool.
And we do a lot of different products. So we really focus on locally grown, biologically grown, so no chemicals, locally foraged, organically sourced herbs. We have a bunch of different herbal infusions. So elderberry syrup is our most popular product.
Okay.
And we have our elderberry syrup in about 15 different retail locations around the city.
That's really cool. Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. We do wildcrafted teas. We have some drunken botanicals. Those are kind of like alcohol extracts that you could use.
How would you use, explain that like I'm 5.
Yeah, so different herbs are known for having different personalities or different properties. And so you could use those straight under your tongue. So let's say ginger, helps with upset stomachs.
Yeah.
So you could put that straight under your tongue, kind of starts being absorbed and working in your bloodstream quickly, or you could use it in a cocktail, or you could use it in your tea, you know. So similar to like a vanilla extract, but more herbal.
I'm into it.
Yeah.
Okay, sounds cool. That's really awesome. A wide product variety too. And so, like you said, the elderberries. What was so interesting to me about elderberries when I first started learning about them is all of the health properties and benefits that you do get from them. So I guess that was the big driving force for you too, right?
Oh yeah, and I think it's got a real appeal for children because it can taste so good. You know, sometimes you're trying to shove something down your kid's throat and they're like, I know, you know.
Right.
But this one tastes delicious. My kid loves it. My dad even likes it, you know, which is even more of a, you know. It's
got the dad seal of approval.
Yeah, that's right. But luckily over the past couple of years, it's really been studied. On our website, we have a bunch of .gov studies showing its antiviral properties, showing its ability to lower histamine responses for seasonal allergies.
No kidding.
So it's got a lot of fun, you know, perks to it.
That's really cool. I didn't realize those. I mean, I knew some of the antiviral properties, but I didn't know about the histamine. That's a really interesting thing.
Yeah.
It's funny because that's always been my struggle I mean, I guess it's a lot of people's struggle, but like that was always an issue for me when my allergies were way worse than they are now. But
yeah.
Wow. Okay. So this is something I might want to integrate into my regular habits, right?
Not
I got
just,
someone in mind. She could really use these.
Yeah. Yes.
Well, I don't want to bury the lead too much here. What are we making? What's your concoction you've got?
So people are always like, how, like syrup, like do you put it on pancakes? And I'm like, you could,
Sure.
I've tried it before. It tastes great.
Yeah.
But it's different. It's almost taken as like a cough syrup, kind of like by this, like a spoonful of
sure.
sugar, But people are always wondering, like, what's the best way to do it? A lot of people just take it by the spoonful. Okay. I have a lot of people who just take a swig right out of the jar.
Hey, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah. But then, there are other people that add it to smoothies, add it on top of their yogurt. Some people add apple cider vinegar to it and make it like a salad dressing.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's interesting.
But my favorite way to do it is to make like a cocktail, like a gin cocktail, or just like a spritzer. Yeah. So I was just going to make you like a little seltzer with it.
I'm way into that. Sounds delicious. Yeah. And we're big seltzer fans here in the jungle.
Okay.
So,
so I just have
spring
some,
too.
Yeah.
Good deal. Look at you got the good stuff today.
Oh, yes. Always
I'm
glass.
treated always very well. Yes, exactly. All
Always
glass,
have
everything.
glass.
I'm right here with you.
So sometimes at home, like we'll add in like a squeeze of lime or even, something else like extra ginger or a bitter or something. Yeah. But we cook our elderberries low and slow in a kettle overnight to preserve like the vitamin C and the antioxidants. Can you open that for me?
Sure.
Maybe.
No.
Oh, okay. No. Thank you.
You loosened it for me now.
And then we cook them with cinnamon, clove, orange peel, and then we add in a shot of organic raw ginger root juice.
Okay.
So it's a little spiced,
but
it's sweet. And then we infuse that with a local raw wildflower honey.
Oh, I love it. Yeah. Okay, and that's in the syrup as well, right? Okay, just making sure. So you get a little note. It's funny. I get this almost kind of holiday scent, and then when you mention the honey, I can smell that on the back end too. Oh, wait, let's take a little sip.
All right. Good luck.
That's not the thumbnail, I promise. That's awesome. Ooh, yeah. You get that nice sweetness from the honey. You get the berry flavor in there, and it's mild and ooh, I like that a lot.
Aw, I'm glad.
And, well, what's nice too is that I feel like a lot of times with these sorts of elixirs and things of that nature, like what's real popular, like kombucha, for example, that's a tough first date. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
This was a nice. I had a nice time. I'd ask them back out.
There you go. I almost bought a kombucha to mix it in to give it to them. I'm like,
by the way,
I don't know.
Kombucha too.
Okay,
yeah,
that's good.
No. But it's one of those things. I remember the first time I tried it was like 10 years ago, and I was like, "Oh, I'm not sure why you're serving me sparkling vinegar."
Yeah.
But now I get it.
Yeah. Now you just crave it. You're like,
Yeah. Well, once I got to give it. I mentioned the Urban Jungle earlier, but I have to give a shout out in particular to one of our employees, Alicia, over there, who was running the kombucha bar the other day, and was just like, "Oh, you haven't really dove in. Here, try a bunch of these things." Got me super hip to it, and walked me through a bunch of the products. So it's really been fun. This would actually be killer in a kombucha too. I could see that being really good.
Yeah.
Ooh. Well, I guess I'm coming over to your old house for the next mocktail making.
Yes, do it. We'd love to have you.
Yeah, well, I should mention while we're here, just briefly, we give Ryan a little shout out here. So, you are sitting in a legendary location where our connection was great because he brought us the bathtub. He was our tub sponsor. And whenever I tell people I had a bathtub sponsor for the chili bath, they're just like, how does that work? I said, they asked me what I wanted. I said, I'd like a tub I can sit in comfortably for an hour, and I'd like to not have to clean it up. And he was like, great. Wonderful guy to work with, too. So, Ryan, thanks. Appreciate you.
Yeah.
This is so awesome. So, how did you get into Jungle Gyms?
Honestly, I walked in. And I said, who's in charge here in the natural foods?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I think I was at the other location. And they're like, oh, this person. I'm like, oh, is she here today?
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, no, she's out, but here's her card. And I was like, great. So we ended up emailing back and forth a couple times. And then I was able to do a call with both locations and kind of explain our business and what we offer. And I think it's been maybe about 2.5 years now.
Congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. It's been really fun. And every time I come, I get to go shopping. And I was like, always
like,
last.
Is this a money-making venture? No, it's the same thing. I joke all the time. I'm like, do I pay to work here?
Yeah.
I'm constantly buying stuff. It's great. That's really cool. And I'm glad you had that story. There's so many stories, and I'll say this to all of you watching too, or listening. That is kind of the beauty and the magic of Jungle Gyms, right? Is that you can have, you're locally, grown and all that fun stuff.
Yeah.
And it's fun. It's just that easy. It's like get in touch with the right person, figure it out, and then, you're on shelves now for 2.5 years.
Yeah.
And you picked a good time, too, with all the antiviral and the health benefits of this during a pandemic and all that stuff. It's pretty great timing. Honestly, what else do you know?
I know. Yeah, it's been interesting to see, like, what everyone's favorite products have been, like, throughout the COVID kind of thing. And I think one of the biggest sellers here at Jungle Gyms was our elderberry syrup. That's like our most popular product. But our other one was our white pine green tea.
Ooh, that sounds delicious.
Yeah.
And you said we do carry that as well? Mm-hmm. Awesome. Yep. But that's great news because one of our upcoming discovery sections is tea. So it's a good time to be a tea fan of Jungle Gyms or somebody who's at least tea curious.
Yes.
White pine green tea sounds delicious.
Yeah, and it's really good sweetened with elderberries here.
Oh my gosh. Okay, so you got you figured out the whole thing.
Yeah.
So what we need to do next time you come by is we'll make a bunch of different mocktails using your whole lineup. I think that would be
we should do that.
That would be fun.
You know what? I just came out with a new tea, and it can be sipped, out of a mug, but it also can be steeped in a bathtub, and it's like nourishing and calming for your skin. We'll bring the bathtub back.
It's after we did the tub stunt, I was like, am I going to be the tub guy forever? And while I am not against it, at the same time, I'm like, no, let's do it for real. That actually sounds really relaxing. So like, what about it is like, what's in it that's good for the skin?
I have some different, like flower petals in there, like calendula that's really calming to the skin. We have stinging nettle in there, which won't sting you.
Sure. Just a fancy
in the when you harvest it and dry it and process it, yes, it will sting you. But it's very nourishing and calming.
Cool.
So a lot of lavender.
Like an organic
rose
bath
petals.
Bomb here. I'm into it. Yeah. Oh, that sounds like a lot of fun. Okay, well, let's get Ryan into this.
Okay.
We're get the tub back in. Look, I'll bathe in tea, especially if it's actually good for me. Although I will say, chili on the skin I thought was going to be not great. I thought I was going to have a real problem with it, but my skin has never felt better for like a week than when I bathed in.
All that extra like beef oil, like the tallow or something.
And I think that in the there's a lot of tomato paste in it. Oh. So I think that honestly just provided this weird thick sheen. That's what everybody wanted.
I wonder if
about.
The tomato like oil like acid like exfoliated your skin.
It could have. Honestly, this is how we found. Look, this is a new product that comes out.
That's the new thing. We just try all the Jungle Gyms product in the bath.
In the bathtub. Yeah, that's great. We'll need a bigger tub at this point. I'll get a hot tub so we can fit like 6 of us in there and be like, all right, what are we working with?
There you go.
That's so fun. Well, Rachel, what's anything else fun coming down the pipeline you want to let everybody know about or in the meantime?
Yes. Thanks for asking. We have been hosting health and wellness markets. So similar to a farmer's market event, we've had about 40 vendors at each event. And this year we're doing a holiday event at the Jolly Event Center in Wilder on December 4th.
Oh, that's a beautiful space, too.
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh. They did such a great job there. Rachel, thank you so much for joining.
Thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, looking forward to it. And everyone, get out there. Try a little elderberry. It's that time. Flu's coming back around, baby. I'm here for a natural remedy. Hopefully. I just don't want to get sick again. Well, that was fun. Okay, so now I'm standing outside the cooking school here, and if you didn't know this, Jungle Gyms has the oldest cooking school in the state of Ohio. I always think that's really cool. They've got all kinds of stuff going on there. They sell out really quickly, so if this is something you're interested in, of course, I recommend you checking it out, but get on our website, because that's an easy way to book. So, this is actually a very impromptu segment, and I just one day was walking back to my desk, and I ran into Leigh that runs the cooking school, and she's like, hey, you've got to meet George. He's over here from a blue zone, an expression you'll learn about in just a second, and we want to talk about all the stuff he's doing in the cooking school right now while he's touring around the country. So, meet George and re-meet Leigh. I'm always having good opportunities here at Jungle Gyms, and you never know. I mean, today I was just walking back to the studio, and I ran into you, Leigh. So, Leigh, first off, welcome back to the show.
Thanks, Mark. Good to be here.
Yeah, it's been a little while since we've had you on, but everything going well at the cooking school upstairs?
We're going great.
Yeah, I had a friend recently reach out, and they're like, hey, do you have any pull? A lot of the classes are sold out. And I was like, No, that's the beauty of being sold out. It was like, it's a finite space. I'll let you know. So congratulations on that.
Thanks. Thank you.
Of course. Well, I'd like to introduce this gentleman as well. Introduce yourself to the audience for me.
Okay, I am George Karimalis. I am from the Blue Zone Greek island of Icaria. And I am here in Ohio as we are having some Icaria cooking and longevity workshops. Actually, 2 of them take place here in this beautiful shop with all these great surprises around happening.
Yeah, I love it. That's so awesome.
Yeah.
You know, I just learned the expression blue zone today, and that I understand that you'll live forever, based purely on your diet, right?
Well, I never said I'm a god. But this Blue Zone survey has started actually from Americans.
Oh, really?
And all of the books are from an author, Dan Buettner, who is very well known. One of the books where we have contributed a lot of recipes and photography is definitely a New York Times bestseller.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, very cool. So I'm gonna have to dive into that now too. I have an increasingly long list of books I need to catch up on, and I read a lot as is, but not as often, or I'm not catching up the way I'd like to. So I'll just have to meet way less interesting people to stop referring books to me. Oh, so you're teaching these classes. What are some of the things that are intrinsic to your culture that you're choosing to share with us?
Well, the classes are not the usual cooking classes that you will find, focusing on how to do interesting and tasty dishes. These classes are related and connected with nutrition and lifestyle. So in these classes, we explain on how to cook tasty food without destroying the nutrients, and on how to prepare meals that are also meals that will help you make your life more with well-being.
I love it.
Yeah.
What are some of the things that you teach, like maybe some specific either dishes or tips that you could share with the audience that might be helpful?
Generally, this is a plant-based kitchen and diet.
Okay.
Focusing on how to use the best way plants. Not that this kitchen and this diet is vegan or vegetarian. It is based on plants, but it does have from time to time meat and fish.
Okay.
It tries to balance the ingredients that are used in order to become your diet less inflammatory.
Oh.
Yeah, by being less inflamed, by having less toxicity in your body, and by having your body full of beneficial nutrients. This is a key for living long. This is what we find when we check all these people who live past 100. It seems, because, we are not following them since we're born, okay? Sure. Sometimes they get to an age and then we say, let's find what happens with these guys. So these people seem to have these very beneficial conditions into their body. On the other hand, we see that people who lack these kind of conditions, they result with health issues. They result into a body which is not strong enough to keep functioning correctly. So all this about the diet, because diet is a lot responsible either for the bad things or for the good things. So all of these things have to do also with the way we cook. Because when you cook, you might have amazing ingredients, but in an improper way of cooking, you might destroy them. So we need to discover these new ways, which defined, as many writers say, a new global kitchen, a third grade of kitchen, which is called kitchen of wellness.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
So it sounds like a very well-rounded approach, not just specifically related to the food itself, but how everything that we do affects your ultimate health, right?
Correct. And I think that people who want to be more into well-being, they will have to approach this kind of concept, which demands from them to be more well-informed about things that since today they were left behind, like how do I source my food? Do I have places where I can find the good stuff? And how do I treat with this stuff? How do I prepare the meals? Actually, it does also mean how I dine. Do I dine in peace, in appreciation, in social connection with others? Do I share with other people? Or I stay with greed, isolation, a little bit stressed all the time, or a little bit upset, so I open the TV and I sit in front of this and I eat without understanding what I eat, and it needs to come back to what we used to have in our culture, which was to sit around a table, to appreciate the presence of all, and all the donor, of course, okay, and share the food together. So this culture, which was a great culture, needs to come back.
I absolutely agree with that. I think you spoke to something that has been a big struggle for a lot of American, just people eating in general. The dining culture of America has become very, can I get this in 10 minutes and then I have to get back to whatever I'm doing. You said it very well about just almost not tasting the food as it goes in.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, you made an amazing food, which tastes well. Why don't you enjoy it?
Sure.
You need to calm down,
Yeah.
So to focus on what you are doing at that time. And get a glass of nice wine while you drink your food. Enjoy a little wine. This is a pleasure in life.
Sure.
Grabbing a sandwich and running around and with another tin of a soda in the other hand, what are you exactly doing?
It's a great question.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that every time I leave the country, one of my main takeaways always is, wow, that was a very every meal experience is much more leisurely and relaxed and focused on those things. And I'm sure like so many other people that when they come back, I'm like, I'm going to try that. And then eventually I fall back into bad old habits. Yeah. But it is something that I love that you're encouraging that to be, something that changes for all of us. I'm sure this is I'm no doctor by any means, but I would wager that on a cultural level, our fast pace, especially at mealtime, has probably contributed to a lot of the obesity issues that go on in America. I'm sure, I know Americans tend to eat a lot of processed foods too, which I know that's not helping either, but it's a well-rounded approach. You really have to look at it from all sides like that.
Yeah, well, definitely being in proper condition when you eat will occur many things. The best would be to think a little more about what we are doing. We leave ourselves into the flow, the flow is full of anxiety, is full of things that they take you down and we don't know what is happening around. You need to think all the time what you do. It is more useful to skip a meal than to have it fast. It seems that when food is eaten fast, it results into toxicity. So it's not about having your belly full, It's about how much I absorb. So how much do I get from this? I might eat the best, the most organic, the most well-made thing, but in a rush, give me a break. You don't have an option to absorb anything from this. So we need to settle down a little bit. That will have amazing benefits immediately for the next day.
You really speak to a lot of things. I see it, I read about this stuff online all the time, and I see it a lot, especially in youth culture. And I think they're really struggling to grasp that concept that, maybe taking that occasional time just to slow down a little bit and appreciate what you're doing in existence. It seems simple to say, and I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I'm going to get on this today, and I'll try, but hopefully I'll get there finally. How often do you do these classes?
This is a tour we do in the United States. We come here every year.
Okay.
So basically the same period of the year, because previously we have lots of tasks back home. So there is no doubt. This is 2023. Hey, 2023, here we come.
I can't wait. Yeah, no, I'm really excited about this. Leigh, how did you get connected with them?
A relative of Jungle's called me and had seen George and Leigh somewhere in Cleveland, I think.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Yeah, and let us know and thought that, of course, this seemed like the exact right place.
Oh, for sure.
because some of the things that they wanted for our classes, we had multiple options for.
Right.
You know, so that's kind of a fun place to be. And it worked out pretty well.
I imagine that we've got to be a great place for people like yourselves to come in to teach these sorts of classes because we have so many available ingredients to us.
Yeah, well, Leigh was the person which is responsible why we are here, because she was so positive in corresponding to the message came to her through the contact person.
I love it.
So we basically love to go to where we think things are positive, where there is an art waiting for us to come in.
I love it.
Yes.
Oh, that's so great.
Yeah. We love to have a positive environment around us. I think that what I have experienced so far here in Jungle Gym, amazing. You know, everybody was so welcoming, and we would like to repeat these things in the future.
Well, hopefully next year I'll be on top of it enough to come join you. It sounds like a great class.
Yeah.
If people are watching out there and they don't live in the area, where can they follow your tour that you're doing?
Well, we go tomorrow to Cleveland.
Okay.
Staying for a few more days in Ohio. And then we will move to Michigan.
Oh, all right.
And then we will go to further down to other states.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Are you any stops along the way you're looking forward to?
Any stops?
Mm-hmm. Just any of the places you're going to visit?
Colorado?
Man after my own heart. One of my favorite states in the country.
Come on, yes.
It's beautiful. The Rocky Mountains, you can't go wrong.
That's it.
It's beautiful.
And Arizona?
Oh, yeah. I don't think we... All right, so I think we need to travel together is what I'm hearing.
No doubt, yeah.
I like the positivity.
You need to buy a ticket, you know.
I will gladly.
Yeah.
I'll send the bill up to Jungle. That's amazing. Well, thank you so much for coming in and doing this for us. I think this is beautiful.
It was a pleasure.
Yeah, I like your message of positivity and health and wellness. I think it's something we could use a little bit more of. And of course, Leigh, thank you for also having the vision to do something like this. This is great.
Sure.
Yeah. They're always having fun upstairs, right?
We do. We have a lot of fun.
I had a really good time when I took my cooking class with you all. I think it's one of those things that, I say this, it comes up every so often on the show, but for a long time, a lot of my friends didn't even realize the cooking school was real. They just thought it was another one of Jungle's jokes.
Yeah,
And I
that's
was
a
like,
problem.
well, you're not wrong to think that, but at the same time, I get that with the podcast studio. People are like,
Sure.
do you actually do a show here? I'm like, no, they just give me a crazy office. I sit in the corner.
But you've not been here that long. We've been up there for 28
I was
years.
going to say, you are like the oldest cooking school in Ohio,
Yeah.
if I understand correctly. It's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, people should check that out. And that's just all over the junglegyms.com website.
Oh, yeah.
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 Well, okay, so now we all know what a blue zone is. Thank you, George. I appreciate it. Of course, like I said earlier, go on junglegyms.com. Go ahead and check out the cooking school and get in on some of those classes. And while you're at it, I would love it if you could leave me a review on your favorite podcasting app. Apple Podcasts loves reviews. Spotify loves reviews. It helps us out a ton. And I really appreciate all of you for doing it. And I'll say very nice things to you if you do that for me. All right, so this is the last segment coming up on the show here. And this is a little fun. They have an expression in Hollywood. You do one for them, then you do one for you. So on this episode, I did two for them. And this one's kind of for me. So you never know who you're going to run into at Jungle Gyms. It could be Cincinnati restaurant legends. It could be former rock stars, honestly. And in this case, that's what happened. So there was a rock band based out of Middletown, Ohio that released their first major label record in 2002. We're coming up on their 20th anniversary, and guess what? I'm going to host that show. But what I thought was interesting is above and beyond all the rock stardom and all those fun trappings that both Sam and Travis both got into the restaurant game, and I catch them shopping here at Jungle Gyms all the time, and this just made way too much sense to me. So on that, a couple quick notes before we go. If you're watching on YouTube, please hit like, hit share, hit subscribe, and there's a little bell. If you hit that, it'll notify you when we put out new videos, because I've been putting out separate clips, like I released What's in Your Cart separately, like I promised last week. All kinds of good stuff like that. And of course, I want to give a little warning. I don't like to censor my guests at all on the show, especially because I believe that art is meant to be challenging. And so when you bring artists in, or rock musicians in this case, sometimes they'll say some things that maybe don't fit your personal sensibility. So just know and go in that. I don't think it's anything too bad, but at the same time, I just want to be very polite to you. So anyway, meet Sam, Travis, and Jake. We're going to talk about some stuff, and I will see you out in the aisles. Everyone, I'm here with some of my oldest friends and a new old friend who's actually already been on the show once, but we thought we'd bring him back. Oh, there's already people staring at us. Hi, wave everyone. Cool. All right. Well, let me start around the room. Jake, welcome back to the podcast. This is your second appearance.
Hey, Mark, how's it going, buddy?
It's going good. And there was part of me that kept joking. It was like, well, do we just do like a 1 year catch up with everybody that's been on the show already? But then I do that every year. And so then the show never advances. It's just the same content. Like, so what's going on now in Sweden? Do you know what I mean?
No, I don't know.
Well, welcome back, Jake. I
Thanks
appreciate
for having
you
me.
joining
Yeah,
us.
appreciate
of course, yeah. Sam. It's time to talk, baby. I know you and I, we actually did do a test show early on, but I didn't know how to, I was still finding my footing here, so I didn't really do a good job of figuring out what to do. But why don't you introduce yourself to the audience?
Sure. My name is Sam DeBrosi. I'm a restaurant owner. I own a restaurant called Fireside Pizza in Walnut Hills. I'm also the founding drummer of a rock and roll band called July for Kings.
Ooh, that's pretty exciting. I'm excited. I'm excited for the world to know about this. Maybe there's a little leading. Maybe we should say this. Not only is that a thing, obviously, it's been a long time since you've been in the band, though, right?
I think I left the band in 2003, so it's been about 19 years. But I have played with the band 5 or 6 times in the last 20 years. The last time was 7 years ago, and we're playing a show next month. So the entire band, all 9, 10 dudes that played in the band at one point or another, have been rehearsing to get ready for the show again. So
I can't wait. And I heard you've chosen an incredibly handsome MC.
The MC is a guy named Mike Burferin, and he's a local stand-up comedian. He's got a podcast. He podcasts for Kroger, and he's going to be great. He's going to be a great MC.
We got to get your Cincinnati Bengals guy to do a Mike Prince or whatever the hell you just called me. I need that shirt next. Like, oh, yeah.
Doppelganger.
And it's just a blob of colorful shit.
Well, he does commissions now.
Well, I might have to hit him up for that. Yeah. And, well, now that we've gone so far, T. Miller in the room, baby. T, it is always so good to see you.
It's a pleasure to be here.
I'm
Thank you
sorry
so
I
much.
don't see you enough, but you should introduce yourself as well.
Well, T. Miller, but nowadays I guess I go by Travis. Along the lines of Sam, help run Oriental Walk restaurants in Northern Kentucky, sometimes in Hyde Park, but same kind of deal. And
Oh, yeah.
again, founding member of July. Well, no, I'm not. I'm not a founding member of
Yeah,
July for
you
Kings.
are.
I mean, it was close. I almost made it. But
I
had
think I'm gonna count it.
I had the honor and the pleasure of being Joe's right hand for probably a little over 10 years and playing with great musicians like Sam, Amos, Aaron, Drew, Dan, John, gosh, Travis, everybody.
What a band.
I know,
We just had a wonderful time. Jason and oh my gosh.
Jason,
So many people. It's hard to keep track.
running into Jason recently, that was the surprise because I hadn't seen him probably since you guys were gigging way back when, and I ran into him at Fireside, and I was just like, I started for a second, I was like, damn, Jason, and he's like, oh, Mark, what's up? It was a really nice reunion moment too.
Jason and I have remained friends for a long time. He was in my wedding, I was in his wedding. We've remained close, and about a year ago, I had an opening at Fireside, and he expressed interest. And I said, well, I'm not always very fun to work with. I'm not always very easy to work
Big
for.
ups to Jason. Big ups to Jason.
But he just came in and killed it. He didn't have a ton of restaurant experience, and he's just really thrown himself into it. It's been a blast because Jason and I haven't worked together since the band days, so early 2000s.
Yeah.
But now it's a ball. He was just a great guy to hang with. He's an incredible bass player and musician. And it's been really neat that we've gotten to reunite lately. So it's very rewarding for me.
Super killer dude.
Yeah, and I like
Super
how
awesome.
nice everybody is about this. We are hitting that kind of, pardon the expression, nostalgic end of things, right?
Nice.
Yeah, I think you see what I'm doing there.
I did.
Yeah, a little JFK reference. Guys, explain to everybody who may not have spent as much time as we did at the Mad Frog. Tell me about July for Kings before we get into the food stuff.
Man, this was just incredible. We were straight out of high school, kids, couldn't legally do really much of anything except for drive.
Right.
But man, I don't even know how it happened. We just started playing together and really feeling each other's vibe, wanting to play out more. And Mad Frog was the only place in Cincinnati, the only place that would let us come. I remember having my mom's note saying it was cool that I was there. She knew I was there. I wasn't gonna get faded or anything
And give me a
weird.
pack of cigarettes on the way home, too.
Right. So nothing bizarre. I was strictly there to play music, to rock, to crush it, and then go back home. And so that's what we did. We were so young. It was 18, so we probably did that for 2 or 3 years before we even did anything else in the area. It was really bizarre. So Matt Frog and Iden Cole, great man, really took care of us, and he put aside the whole, this is my business, I'm trying to make the most money, but he saw something different in us, and he really wanted to help out the music scene and building up from what it was before when it was the jazz club.
Yeah.
But the number of kids that he helped produce, like just get stage presence, get their music out there, get people in the door, get people excited about music in Cincinnati. That's what he did, and we were there for the ride, and we both helped each other out, and it was just phenomenal. So amazing graces for Iden Colin, what the Mad Frog did.
Iden
Rest
was
in peace.
awesome. Yeah, I mean, seriously, what
The Mad Frog, not Iden.
Yeah, I was going to say he's
Iden is
he's
perfectly
still
good.
Yeah. I was like, oh
He
shit.
opened up a new club downtown. He opened up a new dance club or EDM club.
Well,
right downtown.
I'll flash the
Edit
text
that,
on
edit
screen.
that, okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, Iden. When we started there, we were 18, and we weren't supposed to be able to go in there, which he let us. But he would let us play like every Tuesday night, and 2 or 3 people would show up, and we'd play 4 times a month because we thought that's how you built a following.
Sure.
And eventually we'd lie our way into getting more and more people there, and then eventually he would let us play a weekend, and then we were playing once every month. Then we were playing like once every 2 months, and about 250, 300 people would show up, and it was a blast. And eventually we outgrew the Mad Frog. We started headlining Bogart's, but I remember for the really special shows, like my last show, it had to be at Bogart's. Like it couldn't be anywhere else. I'm not going to play anywhere else. And Iden was always just Mad Frog. Yeah, he was always just there for us. He'd let us. Yes, my last show I was going to play Mad Frog. Sorry, wasn't very clear. But no, I mean for the special shows, Mad Frog was where we wanted to go back to. And recently they tore the building down, and I was lucky enough to find my way onto the construction site and grab a couple bricks for the guys. So that was
that's
really
so
special.
cool.
Yeah, it was really
my
fun.
gosh.
It's super dope. It's got the Mad Frog red on the side.
Red on the side, yeah, it's awesome.
Man, some of the
cool.
best memories I can't remember happened at that place.
Very well put.
I remember it was a show with you guys. I think Blue Karma was on it too, because I felt like that was a lineup I came to see as frequently as possible. I love those guys too.
Man, they're good.
Incredible.
I saw you post about Saving Ray the other day. I was like, damn, I forgot about that band.
Incredible band.
But I remember one time in particular, this is embarrassing, but I'm here for it. And then I woke up outside, and I was
little
like,
nappy poo.
whose house are we at? Because I didn't know the Mad Frog had a patio until that night. And I just woke up super sweaty and very drunk. And I was like, where are we? Do we go to some amazing? And then, I don't want to bury this too far because I know we've been talking a little bit, but I mean, you guys had like major label success, and it's very sweet and humble of both of you to not bring that up in the story thus far, but I'm going to. I mean, can you guys talk about what that was like? I feel like that's a dream for so many creatives.
It was a dream. It really was a dream come true for us. That's what we were going for from day one. Well, in the back of our minds, of course, we just wanted to play and be with each other because we were just such great friends. But obviously, signing and being as big as possible was definitely part of the plan, but it was just surreal. It was very strange. And you mentioned major record label success. I don't know about the success part, but we did get to the majors, which was incredible.
Yeah, most people don't get to say that.
It was bizarre. We were huge in Vegas. It was the strangest thing in the world.
yeah.
So
That
getting
station out there was awesome, though, with
Oh my God,
so
yeah.
much music.
I don't remember. We were the #1 requested rock song ever in Vegas radio up until that point. And when we went to play there, we were just enormous. Like we were huge.
It was very bizarre. It was
really
strange. Joe and I went out to do radio promos, and they'd pick us up in a car from the airport, and normal life's on the radio.
Yeah.
It's just going on. And then we get to the on-site venue. People are rushing around. Can I get you a water? Can I get you? What can I get you, Mr. Miller? What can I get you, Mr. Hedges?
Mr. Miller.
And we're like, what the fuck? What's going on? This is so weird. I'm not that guy. Whoever you think I am, I'm not that guy. And it was just nobody treated us in the country like they did there.
LaCroix.
Yes, they don't make that anymore, sir. I'm pretty sure you can find it. You're not working hard enough.
We hit big in like 5-6 markets. So Memphis was always a huge show.
Yeah.
Vegas, Columbus and Cleveland, I think we did okay. Cincinnati,
Atlanta was
we did
good.
Great. What's that?
Atlanta was good.
Atlanta was good because the guys we met and hung with down there. And then there was 1 or 2 markets in upstate New York. I remember one time we played a show and there was like 2 people. And the next night we played, I can't remember where it was, but it was somewhere in upstate New York. And it was a theater at a high school. And like every seat was filled and every kid knew every word of the songs.
That was strange.
I was going to ask you, like, some of those things. What were did you guys get to experience any? I mean, you talked about the cars and the ass kissing that comes problems with that. But were there any other big? I mean,
there were very limited few
There's
moments.
not a
but
lot of that. It was mostly just anonymous rock and roll clubs.
But that's cool though. But I mean, but look, that's an experience that I know it was a dream I had. I'm sure a lot of people listening to this are probably musicians out there. You know what I mean? That are doing that. What? I was like, what the is funny, Jake?
Mark, you can be all those things.
No, now I'm relegated.
It's your show. It's your show.
I know, right? Now I'm relegated to strumming on the acoustic on Instagram in hopes that like 6 people I know give a shit. But no, I mean, I thought that was, I don't know, it was really cool. Look, I won't go too far on this because I want to open this too. But it was really cool to know you guys back then. Because our age gap's not huge by any means, it's just a couple years. But it was like enough to know that, look, as a creative person in the greater Cincinnati area, and we were from the East Coast, and I remember growing up for a long time, my dad was always like, yeah, entertainment, you're probably not going to make it. You figure out how to get out of here.
Brutal.
You know what I mean? Yeah, and look, in hindsight, I'm like, yeah, you were kind of right. Until he wasn't, and then I let him know like once a week. The point of that story is not just to laugh, but thank you. But was really to say, look, it was refreshing at a young age to find a bunch of like humble, kind guys like yourselves who were talented. You were writing great music, and you had, I mean, for me, because I had only known you guys a little bit before like the whole MCA thing became public and all that stuff, but like. It was just like a rocket took off, and it was that thing for me that I needed to know. Like, you guys were the first people to tell me that my dad was wrong, if that makes sense. Do you know what I mean?
No,
like,
that's awesome.
As silly as
That's
that
awesome.
sounds, but it was like watching this happen. Yeah, he doesn't watch the show. It's fine. His friends do, though. So, Stephen Coffey, if you're still listening, tell him I said this. But it was so refreshing because there weren't, especially at the time, you know, it's easy to take it for granted now where, like, literally everybody has some sort of media-based skill or whatever. Back then, the internet wasn't what it was, so it was a whole different ball game, and
That's
it was
true,
like
yeah.
you really there was like, you know, we talk about the grind now, but there wasn't a lot of it. You didn't have a lot of FaceTime. You know, I mean, I had to go find bands. Like now, I'm inundated with it. Now I don't even know if I like music. Yeah. But like then, you know, it was that fun thing. And I remember, it's like some of the shows that stick out. I remember you guys playing a gig at the Union Terminal for something, and I don't remember what the why of that was, but that was a great show. And I just remember watching these guys who were like kind and supportive and friendly, and like, I don't know, you guys didn't know me really, but you were willing to let me into the circle to be like, here's what it's like, and always took great care of me. I mean,
You were just as cool. You were just as sweet, just as nice, and just as, you know, positive.
Yeah,
that kind of good energy.
Yeah.
You know? So that's Likewise.
It really wasn't. I used to try to tell people that I used to dissuade people from doing like a life in the arts or a career in it.
Yeah.
Because
I remember that conversation. For sure.
I would just be like, man, it's just get a normal job. Just have a family. You know, but that was now that I'm older, I think the exact opposite. I think pour yourself into whatever you like. Even today, when the internet and social media inundate you with everybody's got their career, everybody's like, well, I'm an accountant. I'm also a hip hop star, and you're like, cool. But back then, like, we didn't do anything else. We sat in a house, we practiced all the time. We did these little shows. We put up posters around UC, and it was like there was no internet. The internet was barely a thing. There was no social media, thank God. Yeah. But like, I tell everybody now, I mean, just pour yourself into it. Go for it. What's the worst that can happen? Right. I mean, what's the worst? You have a great time doing something you love and believe in. Yeah. And your success, however you define it, really doesn't matter. Like, you should just give it a rip. That's what I say now. When I was a kid, I said the opposite. You know.
I'm glad I didn't listen to you. So hold on. Let's go. Let's do this while I'm still there.
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of have a sneaking. Oh shit,
Dude, on the vinyl?
This is amazing. So I got into, I've always enjoyed the vinyl, but now that I'm almost 40 and white, that's what you have to spend your money on.
It's required.
I'm collect vinyl now. Cool. Since I don't, I guess I own a smoker, but I haven't messed with it yet. So I was like, I didn't choose that personality. I do have a podcast. So I'm like getting a few notes. This is amazing. So this is the second full release from you guys, right? Nostalgia. It was right after Swim.
Well, it's not.
It's an EP.
Is it EP?
Yeah, it's more of an EP.
Okay.
It's like a 7-8 songs.
Okay,
seven
songs. I
songs.
kept thinking it was 9 for some reason. Is this like publicly consumable? Well, not. I'm going to listen to it very loudly.
You can find it on Spotify. You can find it on the internet, but I don't know if you can get a physical copy anymore.
No, this was a very, very limited pressing.
Oh, just the vinyl? Yeah, that doesn't. There's about 5 of those maybe.
Yeah.
So there are that many.
Ooh.
Oh, 7 out of 9.
So that is strictly for you, Mark. That's just a gift from the band to say thanks.
Dude, this is what 2000s. This is
Oh
what
my
2000s marketing looked like.
I'm not in there. I'm not in there.
I know, but still.
God, we're so young. I mean, look at that.
Let's just maybe this is my pivot here. First off, Jake, how's the design world going? No.
Oh, it's beautiful, baby.
I was like, sorry, just buried it. How did you guys make the transition into food? Like, I do think it is kind of funny that both of you ended up as restaurateurs, and that was sort of my angle originally.
big time.
But then I'm like, let's just tell fun rock star reminiscing stories instead.
We can do that too.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
we can do a good
Well,
job.
we can
Let's
do
go
all
food
that.
first. We'll come back
do
to it.
both because we were meeting with, was it Joel Mark was Joel Mark was who we met with at O Walk for the first time? I think
So
that was
Joel Mark was the acting A&R,
for Wind Up,
Wind Up Records.
which had Joel found Creed and Wind Up had Creed at the time, so
Yeah.
they were pretty big.
And so we
What a
had
good year.
Joel, and then the crew hand. I know was it Jack or Jake or Joel?
Which one? Which guy?
Well, we just finished up the recording at the house, so we outfitted a whole bedroom for like a master recording studio, and then we had ISO booths in the different bedrooms upstairs.
There was Griggs.
Griggs.
Griggs was
Griggs
there.
was my man. Oh,
Yeah,
he
yeah.
was so cool. But
He's still around. He's in Cincinnati.
Oh, no, good.
is he local?
Yeah, I don't know if he does music anymore, but I know he's around.
Well, Griggs, pop to Oriental Walk. Give me a holler.
Griggs, don't come to Fireside. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
So full of shit.
And next time on the show, I'll be brokering the peace treaty between all these people.
So Griggs was there and Joel Mark was there.
Yeah, so we finished the Swim album, and once that was actually sent away, Joel was still in town, Griggs was still there. I think there might have been one or two other people, but we all decided to have a celebratory dinner, and for whatever reason, we just happened on the walk.
Yeah.
In Oriental Walk, Fort Mitchell, Kentucky.
Classic.
317 Buttermilk Pike.
So good.
So
and run by someone who also shares my penchant for loud outfits and design.
Yes.
I
Yes.
love that about him
Yeah.
so much.
no, yeah, he doesn't do the subtle tip, but but we decided to have dinner there, and how I got into it is the young lady who came around and checked on us happened to be very pretty.
A babe,
And I
yeah.
was like, oh, hello, what's your name? And then long story short, I just fell in love with her and suckered into her family. Obviously, the Wong family run the Oriental Walk restaurants. And so they just were gracious enough to let me slide in and help out when I can.
Hey, as being an NKY boy myself, that was like classic.
Oh, that
Yo,
place is
if you were going out and you weren't going to Skyline, you were going to Oriental Walk. And
walk.
that
Yeah.
place, you had to dress up a little bit, like just a little
Yeah.
bit. And you went in there and you just had the best experience of your life. And I just remember
food's
that when I'm like
always
10
so
years on,
awesome.
since I've been 10 years old. It's crazy.
It's the best. It's my favorite restaurant in the world. Whenever I have, like, if I can choose, like, if I go there for my birthday almost every year, I love it there.
It probably helps that they treat you real good too, right?
They treat me like shit.
Everybody.
Yeah, every time. The worst. Yeah.
Well,
That's
I
5
know,
stars.
I got Sam's love, so I kind of focus on other tables. make sure.
When TJ started working there after I left the band, I was serving tables, and then I begged TJ and Angela for a job, 4 years after I left the band, and they were like, well, hiring your friends is kind of tough, and I said, I'll do anything, and they just gave me a shot, and I ended up serving and bartending with them for 2 or 3 years.
Oh, dude, you've been playing this game for a long. We knew you were a monster. It was a no-brainer.
It's a lie.
No
I had to
brainer.
beg 'em. But I mean,
Origin
that was the best
stories.
job
Origin
I ever
stories
had,
right here.
man. That was hung out with T, hung out with Mr. Wong, hung out with the Wong family, and like
Yeah, they're
can
all
you
so
learn-
cool too, by the way.
Legends,
Like,
yeah,
just
And you're
throwing it out.
learning at the feet of just legends. You know what I mean? Like they're on the Rushmore of Cincinnati restaurant families.
Oh, yeah.
It's just amazing. It was amazing. Killer experience.
Damn, I know where I'm going later.
Oh, I won't say it.
So good.
Yeah. Oh, okay.
TJ,
wait.
you run the whole thing now, right? Are you the GM of that store, or how would you? I mean, where do you?
GM, yes. Running the whole thing, no. So I'm still in the position I was when I started. Whatever I can do to help, I'm more than happy to help. So
we love that
if that
about you.
means books and ordering and scheduling, bartending, dishwashing,
That's what's up.
whatever it
That's
is,
what's up.
then that's what you do. I mean, and the Wongs are the same way. So if they see something that needs to be done, nothing's beneath you. They'll sweep the hallway. It doesn't
it.
matter.
That's
It needs to be done. So
That's a common thread I notice a lot in a lot of the I see it with Jungle. Right? I mean, that's like the thing where he's like the type of guy, like today I caught him out here rearranging shit, and I was just like, I love this about you. Like, find me another business owner besides Mike Wong, right? That's like really of that generation that really, you know what I mean, is out there. They're going to be huge successes for that reason, I think, because nothing's beneath them. You're tending bar, you're helping out in the restaurant, and then weren't you in Philadelphia for a minute?
I moved to Philadelphia for 5 years. And
A very long minute.
Well,
A couple minutes.
God, it was 5 years that took.
Like 1,500
Yeah,
days
it
of
felt
minutes.
like centuries. I got to work with some pretty competitive restaurant groups there, and I really fell in love with the business. It was kind of all I was really good at and all I liked. So I moved back to Cincinnati and worked for some great groups. I was able to tend bar for the Wongs a couple times, which was awesome. Yeah. And I got to work for Elias Leisering, who owns Eli's Barbecue, among some other places. Awesome. And that was a really great learning experience. He's still a close friend of mine.
He's a great guy, and too, really, honestly, responsible kind of for the barbecue revolution in Cincinnati, in my opinion. For,
He did
at
a
least
lot
on a
of
large,
it, yeah.
You know, I don't want to say nobody else helped, but at the same time,
He's just mentored so many people. He has such a crazy, like they talk about restaurant trees, like which restaurateurs came from other restaurateurs.
Mm-hmm.
And Elias's, if he ever bragged about it, would be ridiculous. There's been so many guys that he's helped. Like for me, he helped me a ton. TJ obviously helped me a ton when I got my thing going. Yeah. But like Elias would give anything. He's done it to a lot of people. And he is a really big influence for me because now I work with a lot of people who are spinning up their own project, and I just give them as much time as humanly possible.
That's cool.
Because it's hard, it's stressful, and you know he was a big inspiration to me.
That's super cool. He's a great guy. He's the type of guy where I made a joke about an episode I wanted to do online, and someone, maybe it was you that got us connected, but somebody in the circle got us connected, and instantly he's like, let me know. I'll see if I can't come up to do this with you. I was like, okay, cool.
He's the best.
Guy I've never met, but
He's
it was
the
super
best.
cool, yeah. Because I thought I would do a big barbecue special, and then I think he and I think Aaron Sharp at Lucius Q got looped. It was a great idea. And I hope everybody watching this that's been mad at me for not doing it yet, just know it's because we're so busy, and I'm always coming up with content. It'll happen next summer.
Nice.
The real question I have here, boys. So Fireside, Oriental Walk. When are we getting that crab rangoon pizza again, boys?
Hit him up, Sam.
So we're doing, this is a busy month for us. We're doing Pizza Week, the first full week, I believe.
And there's an absolute banger coming out for that one.
Yeah,
Oh,
we've got a
at
killer,
Fireside as well?
Yeah, we've got an original
and
pizza
now-
for that.
I see how excited you are, Jake.
It was so
Well,
good.
this
that we
should
tried it.
air after Pizza Week, so can you tell me?
Oh, did you take the picture for that?
We didn't take a picture of it yet.
just tell me.
Well,
We
Trev and
have,
Eric
I
had
have
it
a
up there.
picture already, but
Okay. So basically, it's like a spicy tomato,
Okay.
but it's more like they like stew it. It like tastes like it's stewed almost.
Okay.
Like with some old Neapolitan tomatoes.
Yeah.
And then they hit it with a little bit of olive oil, I believe. They hit it with the Parmigiano,
Pecorino Romano.
the Pecorino Romano.
Which is a little
Pardon
sharper.
my
I'm into it.
Italiano. And then they hit it. They got some red chili flakes on there, and then
bacon.
and
Yeah, it's super spicy.
But it's thicker. It's not just.
I think it's a little thicker cut.
Okay,
than our
thicker cut
normal
bacon.
stuff.
I'm into that. A little good mouth chew. That sounds
Yes,
good.
it's very tasty. Like the Fireside is just like up their game on all fronts this past year, and
Yeah.
the menu included. Like some people before would complain about the red sauce. I always love the red sauce, but some people would complain about it. The red sauce is just like dialed in right now. It's consistent and perfect every time. And I could literally talk about pizza all day long.
We should do a pizza follow-up at some point because I know you've been doing a lot of. Well, I should mention for everybody quickly, since Jake was here last time, talking about his work at Dust Village and everything, you had a lot of clients before, but your client list has expanded pretty extensively. Obviously doing a lot of stuff for Fireside.
Yep.
Are you involved in the July for Kings 20th anniversary show at all?
Just to be the biggest fan I can for Sam and all these guys.
He's gonna help us.
I think I might have an award that proves I'm still the biggest fan.
Well, he's gonna do some. He's helping us with the merch.
Yeah. We got some
He's
merch
helping
going.
with
Yeah,
the- he's him and Brian
that's in the works right now, and I'm gonna bring my wife, and we're gonna enjoy like a fantastic show. I'm new to July for Kings. I'm a new fan. I got a CD from Sam the other day, and I've been rocking it in my 99 Toyota. So
Perfect way to listen.
yes,
to it.
best way.
it's
There's just something about the way-
it was
We
intended
recorded
to-
it for that
I
specific
mean, that's how we
stereo.
mixed it. Yeah, it was mastered. for
That's
that.
I can't wait for the update on like Spotify. That's like the remastered out 490s Toyotas. Oh oh shit, we're hitting, boys. What's up with the crab rangoon, baby? Is
Oh
that
yeah,
coming
good.
post-game?
Okay, so we did this collaboration. I'm really into collaborating with local chefs or makers. I like to do it with other restaurateurs specifically, and it was always like we've got an Eli's barbecue pizza on the menu.
Fire.
Elias and I worked on it. We really dialed something in really good, and so stuff like that I really enjoy. None have I enjoyed more than when I had Susanna Wong and her husband Guy to our restaurant, and we were working up like an Oriental walk fireside thing. And the day before, I was doing some brainstorming. It was very relaxed.
We sell it in the store. You can talk about it.
I was hired as shit. And I texted Guy and I said, hey, can you guys bring some Rangoon filling, some volcano sauce, maybe some crunchies? And he was like, yeah, sure. And they bring it. And they had other ideas. And I was like, let me just try this one first. And we tried it and it just we ate it and we were like, oh, yeah. So we're going to do it again. We've done it a couple times a year for the past couple years. It's been totally awesome. It's a ram jammer of a special. When we do it, people go nuts. We're going to change the special a little bit this year. The pizza is going to be slightly reworked. Cool. It's not going to, the flavor profile will be the same. It might look just a bit different. And then we're going to do it, we're going to do it the week after Pizza Week. So I think that's an
exciting time.
Should be fun.
So that should be that should hit the week that this episode airs too.
Cool. Yeah,
so.
it'll be on I think we're going to announce it on a Monday.
Limited release.
Yeah, but
Monday,
check social media.
limited release will be like Friday dine-in only or carry out only, no online, like Friday at 5 p.m.
That's amazing.
The last time we did it, I think it lasted about
like
36
a sneaker
hours.
drop.
So stupid, isn't it?
I'm like, let me get in the raffle for that.
We've never announced it. We put it on
pizza.
social media and it lasts like a day or two. So this time we got a whole bunch of it. So hopefully we got 2 or 3 or 4 days
You
worth
should
of
raffle
product.
it off.
And
that would be. I'm serious. I'm not joking. That was not a joke. I mean, I think it's funny, but
Raffle it off.
for real. Like
the pizzas.
Yeah, like raffle, like do it like they do the shoe buying, where you're like, listen, you want this limited.
That's too popular. We're not that popular.
Okay, I don't know, man.
I did steal like a half pint
Challenge
of this stuff.
accepted.
He was just bragging real hard before.
I had a half pint of this stuff in my freezer at home, and it's my get out of jail free card. Because the next time I really screw something up, I'm gonna surprise Andrea with it.
Perfect.
Let's drop some heat on the show. When's the show?
November 26th.
The Saturday after Thanksgiving.
Where can people get tickets?
WoodbridgeTheater.com.
Yep, CincyTicket.com as well.
Yeah.
Or they could just use Google.
And my house, because I'm currently sitting on about 138 tickets.
There you go.
That's amazing.
So
Oh wow.
We have
just
sold-
wanted to
I need physical copies. I'm gonna need tickets 7 of 9 if I could.
I think we sold 265, 270 as of this morning, and we're gonna sell 500 total because we're gonna need 100 wiggle room, 100 people.
It's gonna be good.
Man, the Woodward.
By the way, that's a great
storage.
venue. If you guys haven't done
Yeah,
any
so
gigs there,
cool.
it's
I've
awesome.
never been there.
It's
Neither have I,
beautiful.
man.
People say the
Oh,
best
you've
stuff.
never
I'm
been
so
I
excited.
mean, last time I
So
played,
excited.
that wasn't even a
Bro,
venue.
it's so beautiful.
It's beautiful. I've emceed a couple events there, so I'm like, you picked a good, I have a little experience on that stage. But no, the place sounds awesome. It looks great. You know, like a great team of people running it. My buddy Johnny Shank's been doing a lot of stuff with the local film scene there. And
cool.
it's just a cool spot. So I think it's a great venue for
Supposed
this.
to be some really good owners too.
Yeah,
they own
I've
Motor
heard-
next
Yeah,
door. We're gonna do a after party at Motor in the basement after the show.
Oh,
we're
in
just
the
gonna
sword
walk
room,
across
hopefully?
the street, go down to the basement, kick it for a little while.
That sounds
That'd be
awesome.
great.
Is that a publicly accessible thing too?
Yeah, I think I put it on Facebook. So yeah, if you come to the show or you don't, you just come over to Motor and hang out.
That's cool too.
It's a fun place as
Let's
well,
sell
yeah.
some tickets. Yeah, Motors. I think that little strip there is awesome. I want to shout out the Hub in OTR too.
What up? Yeah.
Oh, Lindsay over there.
So cool.
My favorite Twitter account. Hopefully she stays on there post
She
Musk.
goes hard.
I know.
She
It's
goes
like
pretty hard.
she does the thing that I'm like, oh, I wish I had that. Like I think I might have that freedom, but I'm too afraid to find out. But she does not have that fear. First off, congratulations, 20 years. This is a big deal. It's a great record. Swim rules, and it's still on streaming, right? I think we kind of touched on that.
Yeah,
but
everything's on. You can get everything on Spotify. TJ doesn't stream.
That's okay.
Yeah, I don't.
Good.
I stream.
This is why I got back into physical media. Look, let me get on my soapbox one more time then. Physical media to me is so cool because it forces you to engage with the art. Something that streaming is, I look at streaming like a tool where it's really great if I'm like, oh shit, what was that one song? Cool, I can pull it up. But like when I want to truly engage with music, I'm an album guy. You know, I want that experience front to back.
Yeah.
I don't want, I don't want to jump around.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? There are so many generations now that don't know that feeling of going out and getting that album that they've been wanting forever.
Remember OK
And so
Computer?
oh my God,
Yeah,
Melancholy and the Infinite Sadness, Pearl Jam, Vitalogy,
Right.
Nirvana, Nevermind. I mean, these In Utero, whatever. You go out and buy the record, and then you just crush it first to the last.
Yeah.
and then
sit there and read along with the lyrics.
you open up
hear
the
it,
booklet and you go nuts on it. Get all the artwork.
Oh,
We
dude.
used to have so many
That doesn't
arguments
happen.
about
Isn't that
like
bizarre?
before we released the record. We all used to have these arguments about, all right, where does the banger go? Number 3, 5, or 7?
Whoa.
And what's got to be
Yeah.
number 1? What's
Yep.
the closer? And like we spent
That would take us
we
weeks.
spent months like arguing about that one
matters.
record.
It
Because
matters.
yes, it did. That thing you could say it's very deliberately constructed
Yeah.
for the first song
There's
to
a
the
flow.
last song.
It's a roller
Yes.
coaster. It's like it's like anything else.
It doesn't work that way
It's
at all.
legitimately a piece of art. It takes time.
I mean, and you think about that. You think about when the guy puts it into a stereo CD in his car, or the high school
bizarre.
kid puts it. Like, how are they going to take it on? That first one's got to crush, and then you
Yeah.
pull back, and then your 3, 5, and 7's got to be tight. Your closer's got to be. You put the dog shit like 1 or 2 before the closer, and then your closer's got to be nice. I mean,
Hopefully, you don't have dog shit, but whatever.
Yeah. Maybe
if I
cut
was
the
playing
song
on a
or-
record, there's going to be a lot of dog shit. All right.
No, but New World Order.
Yeah, well, New World Order. How about a new JFK album? What do we say to that, boys?
I'm so reinvigorated with everything. Just playing with the boys and talking to Joe and getting these songs back in my hands.
Yeah,
It's-
we're gonna do more of
It's the
this.
most wonderful feeling ever. So
It's really
Yeah.
good.
I really did think it would have been fun for us to do a jam session in here today, but I felt weird pushing that idea. But we should do that one day.
Just
guys.
come, you're going to be at soundcheck. Just come to soundcheck and we'll kick it.
That sounds good.
Because we're gonna have there's gonna be like 9 dudes. There's gonna be like
Jungle
1,000
Gyms
guitars.
from the sound check.
Oh yeah, yeah. I'm sure. I think I know some guys involved with the show. I can probably get a little recording of it. First, seriously, thanks so much for having me be a part of this, guys. I really do appreciate it.
It's gonna be
No,
awesome, dude.
it's all on this side of the
Psyched
table,
to
Mark.
have
It's
you
gonna be
there.
awesome.
Thanks for having us over today, and thanks for jumping in to help with the show. It's going to be phenomenal.
It's gonna be awesome.
Really looking forward to it.
Let's get those tickets in. All right, let's sell that out. We have 100-some tickets left. I want to sell 100-some tickets. I don't have an exact number because I'm terrible at math. That's why I got into entertainment. Gentlemen,
Perfect.
I appreciate you all so much. Jake, thanks for very little. And
Spicy.
I'm so sorry.
I'm okay with it.
Excuse me. I'm so mean.
The Jungle Gyms podcast is recorded in the WJJI studio inside Jungle Gyms International Market in Fairfield, Ohio. The Jungle Gyms podcast is produced and hosted by Mark Borison.